Olive Garden is the most popular restaurant in the US, so today we're recreating one of its most popular menu items, breadsticks.
All right guys, we're back in the kitchen, and today, as Colin said, we are recreating the classic breadstick from Olive Garden, one of their most popular items, and we're using a recipe from Cooking Classy. This is a 5-star recipe that we found online, and it looks like it's going to be delicious. With 700 million of these breadsticks made every year by Olive Garden, we think that it's worth the effort to go ahead and try to see if we can make it at home and make it just as good as them.
Or even better.
Or even better. It's definitely going to be super fresh, made at home. And we're going to be able to decide, do you even need to go to Olive Garden to get a really super good breadstick, or can you just make it at home?
So first we're going to show you guys how to make these Copycat breadsticks, and then we're going to get the real thing so that we can compare them to our homemade ones and see which ones are better.
We're going to get started by adding our warm water and yeast mixture to the stand mixer and get that mixed up. Put 1 cup and 2 tablespoons water into the microwave for about 1 minute, reaching a temperature of about 110 to 115 degrees to activate the yeast. Then add 1 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast and a 1/2 teaspoon of granulated sugar. Then go ahead and mix with your whisk attachment.
Now that we've let this yeast mixture sit for about 10 minutes, we're going to be adding the rest of the ingredients with half the flour, and we're going to mix until well combined.
Swap out the whisk with the paddle attachment, then add 1 tablespoon and 2 1/2 teaspoons granulated sugar, 1 1/2 cups of flour, 1 3/4 teaspoons salt, and 3 tablespoons vegetable oil or olive oil. We recommend olive oil to make it more Olive Garden authentic. Start your mixer and blend until well combined. Swap out your paddle attachment with your dough hook and add 1 1/2 cups flour and get your mixer started again. Let the dough knead until it's smooth and elastic. The dough should pull away from the sides of the bowl pretty easily, but should still be slightly sticky. All right, the dough is done kneading, so now we just form it into a ball. We spray our bowl and we set the dough in there, and we're going to cover it and let it rise for about an hour and a half until about double. And it says to, as typical, to put it in a warm spot for that to rise. All right, the dough has risen now for an hour and a half. It's about double in size, so we're just going to go ahead and punch that down. And then we're going to measure out 12 equal portions that are about 2 ounces each. And then we get to roll those into about a 9-inch roll, and they're going to rest, or what are they going to do? We're going to let them rise for another hour.
Now that our breadsticks have been rising for about an hour, it's time to get them in the oven. We're going to be baking these for about 11 minutes, and make sure to preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit.
While those are baking, we'll go ahead and make our garlic topping. For this simple garlic topping, measure out 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Go ahead and mix those with a whisk until well combined. Now that the topping is done, the breadsticks should be just about ready to come out of the oven. All right, the breadsticks have come out of the oven and they look really good, nice and golden brown on the top.
Oh yeah.
And now it's time to put on the topping. It's just a very simple salt and garlic mixture with some butter put on the top.
Slathered, Dad.
These bad boys.
Yep, our homemade breadsticks are done, and we went and picked up some breadsticks from Olive Garden itself. We're gonna be eating them both and comparing them to see which one is best. So, I mean, I'm really excited. How about you?
Oh, these are absolutely delicious.
Oh yeah.
And right off, the homemade ones look delicious too. So yes, I am excited to see which one is better.
And we've been making these, smelling them for a long time, so I'm ready to eat them.
Yep. All right. Well, let's dig in, or at least maybe start with the color and just their looks.
For myself.
Yep. Okay. So as far as their looks go, I would say the Olive Garden ones are much more even, like they were manufactured in a factory.
Basically, the homemade ones, they look homemade.
They do.
It has a nice little brown on top, which, you know, makes it look pretty good in my opinion.
Right, but they're not perfect. They're kind of like fatter in some areas and skinnier in others.
I will say that the Olive Garden ones do look a little bit greasy. You can actually see some of the grease on top where it's kind of like pooling up a little bit, which isn't the best.
That's true, but it may actually help with the flavor. I don't know.
Yeah, it might.
So, all right, well, let's maybe smell.
Smell? Okay,
yeah.
Smell test.
I mostly smell the garlic.
Which one are you doing?
Which is good. Oh, that's the Olive Garden.
Okay.
Smells good.
I already smelled both of them.
It's not too
and I'm
strong.
going to say that the Olive Garden one actually has a stronger smell.
Definitely stronger. Yep.
With the homemade, I'm mostly just smelling like a little bit of doughy, bready smell.
Yes, it does smell kind of bready.
Yeah.
While the Olive Garden one, I really don't smell any dough at all.
Yeah, I mostly just smell garlic.
Okay.
Shall we taste them?
Yeah, I think that's probably the next step.
You want to start with the Olive Garden?
Yes, one I have in my hand, so let's do that first.
All right.
Chewy. A very good consistency.
I know, that's a great texture. Not too strong of flavors, but not too little.
Not too strong. After smelling it and being able to smell it so well, I thought maybe it would be a little bit strong.
It's not,
but
though.
It's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, well.
Very good.
Yeah, good breadstick. I mean, there's a reason they're so popular. I'm going to go for the homemade.
All right. Also a very good consistency.
Yeah, not as strong tasting.
Not as strong. Yep.
Yeah.
And part of that is, I guess, my fault because I was the one that put the sprinkles on, or the topping, and I probably could have put more. There was kind of a lot left. But as far as the bake of the bread and everything, I think that was very well done.
I know. I think the smell and the taste are pretty similar because in the homemade one, I am getting more of that breadstick flavor. And then the Olive Garden, I'm getting a lot more garlic. So it depends on what you're looking for.
That's a tough one. I mean, overall, that's kind of a hard choice.
Yeah.
I'm taking a little bit more bite of each one and see which one I like best. I think I need to put more garlic on this one to make it a fair comparison because there definitely is not as much on the homemade one as there is on the Olive Garden one. So let me get some more of that topping.
Okay.
And we'll put it on there. And
we'll be right back.
We'll taste that. You don't mind if I touch your breadstick?
No, I don't mind. All right.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, let's try this again.
All right, here we go.
Attempt number 2. Ooh. That's
definitely more flavor.
Much more like it.
Yeah, that's better.
Very good.
That makes it a lot more difficult now.
I mean, yeah, now that you added more flavor than the Olive Garden one,
They almost taste identical. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
I would say the homemade one is softer. That may have to do with, these came from the restaurant like an hour ago. So we did kind of keep them in the oven in their bags so that they stayed warm, but they're not going to be completely fresh like the ones that just came out of the oven. So all in all, man, that's a tough call.
I think I have my choice though. You have yours?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, baby!
Yep.
Homemade rules again.
All right, so there you have it. The homemade can be better, or I guess as good as or better than the real thing, the Olive Garden breadsticks.
That is right. And I would say the thing that took me over the edge was probably the softness of this bread. It's just really fresh, and I guess that's what you get when you make them at home is you get them right out of the oven. So.
Yeah, I think in terms of the seasoning, or the garlic on top, once we added that little bit extra and it had the same amount as the actual Olive Garden ones, the bread itself definitely, like you were saying, won it over. So if you guys want to try these homemade breadsticks out for yourself, we're gonna have a link in the description of how to make these. But for now, that's gonna be it for us. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya. Let's get started. Or
you know, like, what you're doing right now. Oh, that's real good.